Danny the Digger Herman, we are at one of my favorite places in the world. This is the shoreline of the beautiful Sea of Galilee. You see this lush vegetation around us. Hey, this was the center of Jesus' ministry, and the city we are in today in particular has a very important role. Tell us where we are and why it's so important.
Totally. We are on the shores of the site of Migdal, or Magdalene in Aramaic, which means tower. And there is actually a stone tower behind you, Eric, which is resonating with the name of the place. There was apparently also a big tower here in ancient times, but the location is on a road junction in the northern part of Israel, right by the Sea of Galilee. This town made its living mostly from fishing and selling salted fish, as Josephus, when he calls this place, he goes by the Greek name tariche, which means salted fish. Okay, but the significance of this place from a Christian point of view, it's the home of Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene means Mary from Magdala, from Migdal.
Yeah, one of the most devoted followers of Jesus, of course, as the Gospels tell us. This, Danny, apparently is where Jesus and Mary Magdalene met.
Probably.
In her hometown.
Yes. The New Testament doesn't give us too many details about their acquaintance here. It only mentions Jesus casting demons out of her. But how did they meet in the first place? In my humble opinion, Jesus, after settling in Capernaum, which is behind me, he starts traveling around the Sea of Galilee, speaking in the synagogues. And when he came to the synagogue of Migdal, that's maybe where he spoke, and Mary Magdalene, sitting there, heard him for the first time, got so excited. She would follow him from this time on. She would follow him to Jerusalem. She would witness the crucifixion. And according to the Gospel of John, she would be the very person to care to come and visit the tomb and find it empty.
That's right.
It all starts from an acquaintance here at Migdal.
Yeah, she was there at the beginning of Jesus' ministry, Danny, and she was there at the end.
Yes. And the site here has been excavated since the 1970s, and in 2009, Eric, they make an amazing discovery. They find a first century synagogue.
One of the most important archaeological discoveries in recent memory, and that's not an understatement.
Yes, CNN, BBC, international media was all over the site when this was discovered, and to this day it brings loads of visitors, excited pilgrims, because of the possibility that Jesus spoke in that very synagogue. You have to understand, the whole site was terminated just 30 years later by the Romans. It didn't continue to exist in Byzantine times, in Muslim times. It was just covered by ruins until archaeologists started exposing the remains, and the tower area was exposed already in the 1970s, but in 2009, a Mexican team renewed the research here, and on the first season, out of the blue, where they were going to build a hotel, they find a first century synagogue.
Wow, and as you said, Danny, these are recent, fairly recent discoveries.
Yes.
And groundbreaking.
Yes. Very, very interesting new material. We have a whole new understanding of the reality here in the time of Jesus. Capernaum reflects a poor fisherman village. Here in Migdal, we found evidence of the middle class or even upper middle class, mosaic floors, nice paved homes, an urban design, ritual baths that are still filled with water. Were designed for the Jews living here while working in salting fish and selling them, also to keep purifying it according to Jewish law.
We're going to take a look at all of those recently excavated sites, Danny. The highlight, obviously, is that incredible first century synagogue that Jesus very likely set foot in and taught in.
Yes. And not only is it a great discovery, it's also a great mystery, because in the middle of the synagogue they found an ornate stone with mysterious symbols.